Okay, I have to admit, we've reached the filter section, and I come here with a bit of dread. And I'm just going to lay this out at first for you. This is one of the reasons that it is difficult to demonstrate this synthesizer effectively. Okay, sure, you're looking at VCF1, and you can see we have a cutoff frequency, we have resonance, we have LFO mod, we have EG depth. Those things are all pretty common on synthesizers. But then we have, of course, filter type. This is a 12 decibel per octave state variable filter, which is to say we can have it be low pass, band pass, or high pass. So it's a powerful filter, and that's powerful enough. And then we have envelope generator settings. It's not just the envelope. We have two envelopes to choose from and one negative envelope setting to choose from. So the complexity in a single filter is stupid. And then we've got two of the filters of that complexity that can happen simultaneously. That in itself is ridiculously complex. But then we have multiple oscillator directions we can come from. We have multiple oscillator routings. VCO1 can be directed into VCF1. VCO1 can be directed into VCF2 at the same time it's being directed into VCF1. So we can get different interpretations of the same oscillator. VCO2 can be directed into VCF2. VCO1 and VCO2 can be directed into VCF2, while VCO1 is also directed into VCF1. So because we can create such astoundingly different oscillator settings and such astoundingly different VCF settings, the possibilities are just ridiculous. And then we have different envelope generator routings too. We have envelope generator 1 and 2 positive and envelope generator 2 negative. So yeah, filter 1 has a negative envelope generator 1 possibility. Filter 2 has a negative envelope generator 2 possibility. So it just boggles the mind trying to figure out how exactly to most effectively demonstrate the infinite outcome possibilities that you have with these two different filters in one synthesizer. It has two filters, and they can be used independently of each other. That is bizarre and rare in analog synthesizers. So, I'll just dig right in. Let's hear what the filter sounds like. Let's just start with that and see where we go. Okay, here we go. I'm just using a sawtooth wave coming out of oscillator 1. I'm directing it into VCF1. It's a very nice 12 decibel per octave filter sound. I'm not using any resonance right now. It's nice enough that it's usable on its own. You don't need any resonance at all to make it sound really cool, which is often the case with state variable filters with 12 decibels per octave. Okay, let's hear resonance at a quarter turn. Again, weedy? Is that weedy to you? It's not Moog sounding, but it is very rich and gorgeous with nice low end. Okay, let's do halfway on the resonance. Resonance halfway up. Already just that on its own, that's enough resonance for a 12 decibel per octave filter to sound really cool. Now I'm going to turn it 3/4 of the way. I have to actually turn it down because there's such a boost down on the low end. Oh, it's still there. Let's turn it way down. is that weird bump. And that's only, let's turn it all the way up and see where we got. Yeah, it has a weird bump down in the low end, and that's cool. I mean, that's really a great and powerful filter sound. And we're not done. That's just a low pass. Let's listen to band pass. The band pass doesn't have as much low end in its band as I'm accustomed to. But of course, once we start jacking the resonance up, it gets there. Now we're halfway up. It definitely is much more punchy with resonance than it is without. Wow, we're going to have to turn that down again. And then all the way up. It still has that boost in the low end, which is really interesting. I can't wait to hear what happens when we put it into the high pass mode. Okay, turn the resonance all the way down. Pretty standard high pass. Nice sounding. Let's hear it with the resonance a quarter of the way up. Nice. Halfway up. Maybe not as violent as an MS-20, but nice sounding. 3/4 the way up. Whoa. Yeah, we're going to have to turn this down a bit. And this is where we talk about the thing that drives me crazy is this Weedy Thing. If you want a big low end on this synthesizer, it's so easy to do, as I demonstrated just with a triangle wave alone. But if you want a big low end, all you have to do is go into your high pass filter, jack the resonance all the way up, and then find the cutoff frequency that amplifies the low end. So you find the place in the frequency range where the low boost happens from the resonance, because the resonance boosts the frequency at the cutoff point. So if you put the cutoff point in the bass with a high pass filter, you'll get a giant bass boost. I'm distorting because that bass is so big. And so usually if you're using a high pass filter and you decide to use your filter as a bass boost, you're done, because that's the only thing it's going to do. You're going to hear all of the high frequencies and then a boost in the low end. And that's kind of limiting for some sounds. But if you have a synthesizer that has two filters, you can have other filter effects happen at the same time as you're doing this low end boost. So you actually get the possibility of creating some filter dynamic changing over the top of your utility bass boost. So just for example, so you haven't sacrificed anything. You've actually kept it, which makes this a more utilitarian device. You can use a filter for a utility function and still not lose the ability to create other interesting aspects with your other filter. That's what makes this thing so powerful. And the filters sound so good that you can do things like that. Okay, so let's go back and let's listen to more functionality present on the filter. I've again shut off VCO2. And so we're just hearing one oscillator going into the filter so that we can kind of hear what the filter does. Okay, LFO mod, we have the ability to direct the LFO to the filter cutoff. Listen to that. Too loud. Listen to that bass drum I'm getting. We'll slow that down. We'll just get a kick. There you go. There's your kick drum for your track. It's just great. We're just in the low pass filter and it's just the LFO mod. Okay, and let's hear sample and hold. That is such a great sound. Am I alone in thinking that? I mean, this 12 decibel per octave, this frothy filter there, I said frothy, it's luscious. Okay, so those are our LFO options. I mean, certainly you have a million more options that you could explore with that and take it in a lot of different directions.